So now that you've learned how to really use ChatGPT to synthesize information about past public figures and past events, what I want to do now is walk through an example of how to use it in your life today with social dynamics and your relationships with other people in your life. So let's start with our first example. As a high school teacher, how do I approach and communicate with students who misbehave in class? And of course, you would tailor this type of prompt to your own specific scenario in life. So here we have our answer. Dealing and misbehaving with students can be challenging, but it's important to approach them in a way that is both firm and compassionate. I would agree with that. So our first point, stay calm and composed. It is important to stay calm and composed when dealing with misbehaving students and avoid getting angry or emotional. Number two, address the behavior, not the student. I think that's a great point. Number three, be clear and direct. Use positive reinforcement. Listen to the student. Involve parents or other support systems. If this gave us the exact answers we were looking at or looking for, awesome. If not, we can further expand on any of these points or even regenerate the response to hear the answer in a slightly different way. Now let's start with a second prompt. I want ChatGPT to give me 10 ways to resolve a conflict with my coworker that's trying to obtain the same promotion that I'm working towards. So here we have 10 points to follow to help resolve any of the conflicts we might be having with our coworker, to communicate openly and respectfully, to focus on the work, seek feedback from others, identify our own strengths and unique contributions, be willing to compromise, and the list goes on. Now, a follow-up question we can ask, let's say that our hardest part that we've identified from this list that we have the most hard time doing is keeping an open mind. So I find it hard for myself to keep an open mind, like bullet point 9. How can I do this more effectively? And ChatGPT is going to go ahead and expand on this, and ideally, like a personal assistant or a personal trainer or a coach, it's going to give us a tailored response that's going to help us reveal any blind spots that we have that might be barriers holding us back. And that's really the key here, is to continue asking it questions and going further down into this discovery process. So here we have 7 points. Recognize your own biases, seek out new experiences, be curious, practice empathy, stay informed, challenge your own beliefs, and be flexible. So some really great pointers, and you can continue to tailor these questions to your specific life.
This lesson will show you how ChatGPT can help with the relationships in your life with your friends, your family, or significant others. I'm going to input some information about someone specific in my life to ChatGPT. So I'm inputting some information about my uncle here. My uncle is a software engineer in his 40s. He loves hikes, traveling, and waterfalls. He is an INFP Myers-Briggs. He's been successful from a young age. He's a self-made man. He went to Harvard, but he has a temper and he will talk over me instead of listening to what I have to say. We come from different walks of life, and I have a hard time finding things in common. How can I more effectively communicate with this person? So here we have ChatGPT working its magic. Sounds like you want to improve your communication with your uncle despite your differences. Here are some suggestions that might help. We can acknowledge our differences, recognize that your uncle comes from a different generation and has a different life experience than you, accept that you have different opinions and values on certain issues, show genuine interest, listen actively, respectful communication, bridge your differences, and avoid personal attacks. So you can take this down a rabbit hole of getting as specific as you want. You can ask follow-up questions about each suggestion that ChatGPT gives you. You can input all the information you need to really describe the person that you are trying to improve your relationship with, and let ChatGPT help you through your problems. In this lesson, we'll be exploring how you can use ChatGPT to teach you skills that you didn't have before. So we're going to ask for a step-by-step tutorial. How do I use the pivot table in Microsoft Excel? ChatGPT wrote a step-by-step tutorial on how to use the pivot table in Microsoft Excel in these 10 steps. From opening Microsoft Excel, ensuring that our data is properly formatted as a table, to once the data is in a table, click anywhere inside and then click on Insert. From the Insert tab, select Pivot Table, create the pivot table, so on and so forth. Let's say you don't have a specific question you want to ask, but you just need some help. ChatGPT can also assist you there. What are the best tips for using Photoshop for photo editing? Great. Here we got 9 tips for using Photoshop for photo editing. Let's say I just don't understand smart objects and I want ChatGPT to expand a little bit about that. Can you expand on smart objects? I need some clarification. Awesome. So I needed some clarification on smart objects, and here we have this extensive breakdown on what is a smart object, the benefits, how to create them, how to edit them, how to apply filters, and so on and so forth. Just as a different example, let's say I am a music producer using Ableton and I keep hearing some latency, some delay when I'm playing. I hear a delay in my headphones while recording vocals in Ableton Live. How do I get rid of the latency? Latency is a recording term that means that there can be a delay from when you make a sound to when you hear the sound back. So that was a specific problem that we were having, and here we go with some ways to fix that problem. Because I happen to be an expert in Ableton Live, I can tell that this is factually accurate and that these are good ways to reduce the latency or delay effect when you're recording. So let's say you don't have a specific problem that you're working with, but you just want to improve your workflow or your knowledge of a specific software. You can ask ChatGPT to help. What are the most important keyboard shortcuts I should know for After Effects? Adobe After Effects is a video editing software. And here we have it, a list of keyboard shortcuts for Adobe After Effects. Now, as a completely different example, give me 3 plugins for Adobe Premiere that would allow me to create more interesting looking videos. Fascinating. I'll definitely have to look into these. These were just some specific examples, but I just want you to understand how you can ask ChatGPT for step-by-step guides, for solving specific problems, and so much more.
Thanks for watching the video till the end. Please leave your thoughts below so we can discuss more about the topic. If you'd like to suggest a video that could help the community, feel free to message me on X or Instagram. We also share short videos on Instagram, so make sure to follow us there. Feel free to reach out. We'd love to hear from you, and might even create a video based on your suggestion. Thanks again for being part of our community. See you in the next video.